I'm Christina from Brooklyn Dreams and welcome to a new video. It's very early in the morning, so I'm sorry for the low energy, but just this had to go up yesterday, but I didn't have time, so I'm doing it really early in the morning so I can put it up by the afternoon. So let's just get into my March wrap up. I think I read roughly around 8 books. So I'll just start with the romances because I read a lot of them this month. So first off, I read The Spanish Love Deception, and I did not write down the author. I'm sorry. So basically, this is the story of Lena and Aaron. They're co-workers, and they kind of grow from an initial misunderstanding to kind of years of animosity. They're not really, they don't really hate each other, but they don't like each other and just don't really enjoy each other's company. And everything starts when Lena gets an assignment to kind of prepare a party, and for which she's not qualified to do. She's the only female team leader in like some kind of tech company, which is, as we know, rare. And I especially appreciated that aspect because there was like this scene in the beginning where another team leader, like a chauvinistic, arrogant pig, basically tells her that she's the only one qualified for the job because she is pretty and the most attractive of the lot and friendly and what was it? You're our most attractive option. The party should be someone like you. There were things said like, see, that's the problem with hiring women in their 30s. So it was like just really grating to read that because it's so unfair. And yeah, that part I appreciated because it kind of felt really real. And Aaron um, agrees to kind of help Lena with this task because he has done event management, and she will act as his what do you say? She will go to him with him to like one, not this party but another one, and he basically acts as her fake boyfriend for her sister's wedding that is happening in Spain because that's where Lena's family is from. And like a lot of things ensue. I wasn't particularly like invested that much in the relationship. I hated the smut parts, especially when they actually got together and got to like the sex part, because I am an avid hater of the, like simultaneous like tandem orgasms, and just like I hate those because they're just so unrealistic. And that's what happened every time they touched each other when they got together, and just like I hated that. And it got very sappy towards the end, so like I would say it was like a fair, some kind of 3 stars, just something really average. People do compare this to the hating game, but they say it's weaker. I actually gave this a higher rating than I did the hating game. I really didn't like the hating game, so maybe I should have read those reviews and just not read this because obviously just not my kind of thing. I read Alien Awoken by Julie C. Cohen, I think. Julie K. Cohen. So this is the fourth book in the Zayaten Warriors series. This one follows Havoc and Jade. So Jade is the sister of the main female character from the previous book, and Havoc is one of the kind of crew members from like we follow different crew members throughout the books who are kind of involved in some kind of conspiracy, and like we get to see that. So Havoc is actually Ishan, which means that he is he has very fair hair. He is a lighter shade of blue than everybody else, and he lives in a society where people, like beings, can distinctly see different shades of color. So he is very much you know disrespected and avoided because of who and how he is, and which is really frustrating. And kind of Jade and him find each other as being the only people that provide some kind of comfort and acceptance to each other, because Jade has been, like manipulated by men and stuff like that before, and Havoc is basically the first person that actually treats her right and respectfully and protects her and her little daughter, Clementine, who Havoc calls Little Lemon, which is so adorable. And basically, the smut was okay, like the love story was okay, it was nothing special, but I particularly like in this series, like this conspiracy part, because there's like this whole two different kind of aliens are conquering planets, and one is being like the force and the other is being represented as the savior. However, they're actually working in tandem to kind of win, like take over worlds. And Havok and like the other crew members are working to kind of prevent that from happening on their planet. And like I'm just interested in the conspiracy, Jesus Christ. And this is a sci-fi romance, so yeah, I think I will continue to read it just to see where that one goes. But yeah, I think it was like a really solid one in the series. Then I read I Think I Might Love You by Christina C. Jones. So this is a story about Jacqueline and Caden. So Jacqueline is very upfront. She tends to come off as rude. She's just your average. Just she's very honest. Yeah, that's what it is. She's very honest, and she has had some problems in the past. She has done some community service work, and that is what happens in this book also. Her boyfriend kind of dumps her in a really bad way, and she keys his car, and the police find her, and she ends up doing community service in veterinary clinic where Caden works. However, their first meeting is in her sister's apartment, which Caden is renting, and she kind of barges in not knowing that there's a renter in there, and like all kinds of hilarious situations ensue. However, upon talking to Maja, I do realize that it is a type of humor that doesn't appeal to everybody. For me, there were some fart jokes, there were some cat jokes, there was a cat kind of jumping in the middle of sex thing going on, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I laughed out loud a couple of times, so like I guess I found the humor to be good. But I would just like to, like say that it's not for everybody, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So then what? Oh, then I read When the Stars Fall by Emery Rose. So this is the first book in the Lost Stars series. We are following Lila and Jade. And the book starts off really violently. So that's a fair warning. I wasn't expecting it. It was just really disturbing. And then as we follow the book, we actually go to the past and follow Lila and Jade's kind of love story from the very beginning, from the moment they met to the point where we got in the beginning. It's a second chance romance, and I absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed this book. It deals with a lot of traumatic experiences. Jude is did I say Jade, Lila, and Jude? Okay. Jude is actually a war veteran. He has gone through some really traumatic experiences in the war. He was in Afghanistan. He lost friends there, and that has severely impacted his mental state. And he has a severe case of PTSD, which is uh, kind of spoken about in the book. And that really affects his relationship with Lila. And that's a very prominent part of the book. But basically, it's just a story about how, you know, life is what it is and you just have to deal with it. And it was very emotional, and I absolutely loved it. I would really like to see what the second book is about, and see if it's something similar, because I don't usually like second chance romance, but this one just really spoke to me because it felt real. There were real world problems, like dealing with trauma on both sides, dealing with being a single parent, finding solace where you might not necessarily, find it, and which creates problems in your relationship. But it's just human. I think the book is very human, and the romance is really, like it's it's very emotional. Yeah, that's the word. And I think that's it actually for. Okay, no, this is not a romance, but it is in very emotional and heartwarming and really wholesome. Just like I've been hearing everybody talk about this book as wholesome, and now I think for the first time I actually understand what that truly means when you read the book, and that is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I absolutely love that book. It was such a comforting read, such a beautiful, enjoyable experience. It's just the story about people being different, about people accepting each other, just uh, about showing that, like even small gestures of acceptance, love, tolerance can change, like the entire perception of a person. And just absolutely gorgeous. So this is the story of Linus Baker, who is a caseworker in the like in some kind of department for magical children, and he gets sent off to an island in the Cerulean Sea, where we meet Arthur Parnassus, and like this just a bunch of different magical children and magical beings, and he has to see if the orphanage actually is okay for the children, whether it needs to be shut down, whether Arthur Parnassus is taking care of the children. And he goes there to stay for a month, and basically we get to see his interactions with the children, the interactions between the children and Arthur Parnassus. And it's just, and the town that is like, I think on the mainland, and how they treat the children and how they actually avoid them and like are being paid to shut up about them. And it was just such a beautiful book. I definitely see this as a book I would read again when I'm just down and I want something beautiful and like happy, and just to make myself feel like maybe this world is worth living in. And I'm literally tearing up while saying this, so it really, like, the book really impacted me. So yeah, that was just like gorgeous to read. Then I read Saint's Blood by Sebastian de Castel. This is the third book in his Great Coat series. Mine, I do have an in-depth review of the book. So this is the book that we actually liked the most, both of us. And because it has like a pretty linear kind of plot line, there are no like, a million smaller things that you need to keep track of, because this one is, like complicated in itself enough, so you just get concentrated on that. um there is more to Falco's character in this one. You can see actually the character development of all of the characters. I particularly didn't like the fact that Falco keeps underestimating every woman in his life, although they see like they keep proving to him that they are more than he gives them credit for. He has this like kind of moralizing stand where he feels like he's the only one that can protect everybody, and he just doesn't believe they can, you know, like take care of themselves, which is really mean at some point. So I really liked at the beginning that one of the side characters tells him he's an arrogant, moralizing show-off. It literally just perfectly describes Falco's character, however he gets like some redeeming qualities in this one. So yeah, just go listen to our go see our more in-depth review, because just like I'll just repeat here what was said then, so I'll just stop now. Then I finished, I can't believe I actually finished the series, and that is the Xenogenesis series by Octavia Butler. So I read the final book, which is Imago, and this is basically trilogy which starts with with people basically destroying Earth and this kind of alien race called Uloi. And no, are they Uloi? No, they have other, these like types of beings. Anyways, alien race that comes and saves people that can be saved from Earth. However, they do this with they actually revive the people and even like make some enhancements. However, there's just a big issue of consent throughout the book. And in this third book, the first book follows like a human who named Lilith, who kind of becomes the mother of the new human, you know, like settlement. And we follow her as she kind of deals with the you know, this alien species. And then we have in the second book, we have like the first male construct, like the first male baby between like the new alien, those alien species and humans. And then in this third one, we follow the firstborn human and not human, but like the first construct Uloi. So Ulois are kind of healers in this alien species. They basically, they have no gender. They are they have like these tentacles that with which they can kind of latch onto you and fix whatever disease you have, or you know, enhance your eyesight or like immunity and stuff like that. So we follow Jodas as he goes kind of on his journey to find mates. And there's like in this book, the consent is really, I mean, basically you get to find out that the Uloi exude some kind of substance that basically makes them irresistible to humans, and they are very sexually attracted and like drawn to humans. And it's kind of, you know, you basically you get the sense that humans don't, it's not really like the like true, maybe it grows into true affection later on, but like the initial attraction, the initial like want to be close to an Uloi is the product of this substance rather than actual will of the human, because it's so strong. So like, oh, that was just a bit it felt predatory and manipulating. And basically that was like the biggest issue I had. Like overall, the trilogy was very interesting. It felt, since I don't really read a lot of sci-fi, it felt very different to me from other sci-fi that I've read. And it was very interesting. It had a lot of issues to discuss. It had, like, it really just made you think. Overall, I think I do give it like maybe 3.5 stars overall, because it's not like I was completely gripped and it was the best thing I ever read, but it was just interesting enough to keep me thinking about it. So yeah. That's it. And then I actually have a book to show you. The Tribe, A New Dawn, by AJ Penn. So, explanation. The Tribe is a New Zealand TV show about a virus coming through Earth and just wiping all the adults, and only the children survive. And they have to kind of, create a new world. This was really big in Croatia when I was a child, and this is like my go-to TV show that I will watch and rewatch all the time. I love it. I love um all of the characters. I don't know. It's just like a very nostalgic thing for me. So, first off, this is actually the second book in a 3-book series, and I kind of skipped the first one. I don't feel like I missed anything. However, I was very, very frustrated in the beginning of the book because they broke up my favorite couple and did something which I don't even understand, like from the show. They paired two people that just no. I'm just saying no. However, it was like it felt like the show. It felt the same. It had the same vibes. There was like this whole plot thing with a very smart AI that controls everything, which is hilarious. Because like I still put this in a setting of like, like 2000s when AI was just like an idea, like at least here in Croatia, and like just like I don't know. It just it was just nostalgic, and it really requires you to suspend any belief in anything. But it was very nostalgic, and like I'm not sure I'm gonna read the first or the third book because just like I'm really sorry, but I just rather rewatch the show, because as I said, they broke up my favorite couples, and like there's and as I saw like in the third book, I think that even one of my favorite characters like doesn't kind of appear that much, so I'm like but like if you like nostalgia, if you've watched The Tribe, it's just a fun thing to read. And then I'll finish with Race to the Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. So this was one of the books for the Aurelian Mini Gear Up, which brought me my Animal Companion. However, I read it only yesterday. I was supposed to read it in March, but I finished reading it yesterday, but I'm still counting it as March, and I'm still counting it as having an Animal Companion, which is a bird, and I actually have the book somewhere, but I didn't bring it right now with me. So it has a bird on the cover, so my Animal Companion will be a bird. I think it's gonna be a bluebird, like either a bluebird or a common blackbird. I'm not sure yet, but like I like those because there were a lot of birds in the book. So yeah, and basically this is the story of just a second. Oh gosh, I can't. I for the life of me I can't remember how to pronounce her name. So I don't want to butcher the name. I'll just write the name. So and they call her throughout the book Z, so I'm just call her Z. So this is a 13-year-old girl who kind of comes realizes that she can see monsters, and she is part of the Navajo tribe. Both of her parents and her brother, and just she's in school where there's a lot of people from like different tribes, and it's like it's very middle grade, I have to say. Like it really does, I think, would appeal to smaller, like to that age range. For me, it just, I had trouble reading it. It was quick, but it didn't really engage me that much. So she sees a monster during like a basketball game, and realizes that that monster kidnaps her father, and then her brother Mac, her best friend Davery, and like her, go to this kind of magical place to find the House of the Sun, where they will get magical weapons, because she learns that she is a member of a long line of monster slayers, and she has to kind of save the world from these monsters. So like the ending was really interesting, where they actually get to fight the monster, where she gets some kinds of trials to get to the House of the Sun. However, the first part was a bit you know, the action was packed in like the last third. The first two halves were just like kind of slow and more to do with her family and her relationships with her best friend and her brother. However, it was really, I like that it felt really like children were the characters. She wasn't, you know, overly smart for her 13 years. She wasn't, she reacted to monsters in a way children were like, oh my god, monsters, hide, and stuff like that. So I really appreciated that. I'm not sure I would read the next book in the series, because I think it is some kind of a series or trilogy. Because like this ended really trapped up really nice, so I don't see where it, I mean, I see like adventures that Rebecca Roanhurst could come up with next, but overall it didn't leave on a cliffhanger. It just wrapped up nicely. So yeah, okay, that's it. That's it. You know, I don't know how to finish a video without Maya, apparently. So please like, share, subscribe. Talk to me down below in the comments. Have you read any of these books? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Do you have any recommendations for me based on them? And yeah, how was your reading month? You know, how are you doing right now? And yeah, that's it. Thank you. So my man called and just broke that off. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please go check out Maya's March wrap up and like some future videos that we have planned, like the Great Coats review. And yes, thank you so much for watching again. I'll see you in our next video. Bye.